Good job. Our next speaker has had one very, very busy month. Within the last month, she was awarded her qualified speaker for her Speakers Bureau, and she was elected as the Club Growth Director for District 12. Mentioned how great it is, how difficult it is to be Area Director of the Year. She was Area Director of the Year in 2017-18, Division Director of the Year in 2018-19, Club Growth Sponsor and Mentor Chair in 2021. Melissa served as a Division Director and in 2018 and 19, effective team leadership and skill development by experience. A Division Director will put your skills to the test and gain your insight from her strengths and opportunities, and learn how about being a Division Director can enhance your leadership and communication skills through motivating and supporting your team. I feel particularly proud of Melissa stepping forward and being elected, because I'm trying to remember whether she was an area governor or maybe not yet. I remember speaking to her after a meeting and saying, someday you're going to be a district leader, because I believe she had that skill. Maybe she remembers when that was. Melissa Stejskal, who I'm sure will be an outstanding leader in District 12, is our next speaker, representing the Division Director role and her leadership. Melissa?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and Inland Empire Speakers Bureau. Raise your hand if you remember the first Toastmasters leadership role that you took that you knew would challenge you and your skills to your limits. Maybe it was a few years ago, maybe it was several years ago, but we've all been in that position where we took on a new leadership opportunity, a new leadership role, and it was a challenge. The challenge for me was when I took on the Division Director role. I wasn't at the time new to leadership. I am leading a $2+ million retail store, and I support my district sales manager as the field training manager for 18 stores in our district. But when I was serving as the area director, it was quite different than being a division director. I knew there was a leap in leadership because a division director is growing your skills in communication, organization, but specifically team building. So that means that the impact of your actions and what you do and say in leading this team not only is developing your skills, but directly impacting the skills of the people that you're serving. It has a much bigger impact, a sort of multi-unit leadership. But I was excited to take it on, and I knew from day one that my goal as a division director was to become a distinguished division. That was my goal. And it was just distinguished. I wanted to give myself a realistic goal that I could achieve. And so I set myself to distinguished from day one. In my time as division director, I realized there are three main components that attributed to the success of our team in Division D becoming a President's Distinguished Division. The first is know your goal and roadmap. The second is know your area directors. The third, know the power of appreciation. Now first, knowing your goals and roadmap. Just with any sports teams, obviously they never go out into the field without some sort of game plan or structured goal that they want to achieve. They have preparation and they have a clear idea of how they're going to reach that goal of being the winning team. It's no different for a leadership role. So I set out the goals that I wanted to follow to achieve distinguished division. I created the roadmap that would get my team and I there so that we all had the tools that we needed to be successful in our roles. I created a timeline for us to have our council meetings. I created checkpoints and calls for us to communicate with each other on a regular basis. And I ensured that we had our important dates of trainings and meetings laid out from the first year to the end of the year so that the team knew exactly what they were doing from day one to day 365 as an area director. I gave my area directors the full confidence that they needed to fulfill their role, and to fulfill their commitment. I wanted to empower them from day one. Having a plan and a specific roadmap is the #1 starting point that you need as a division director or any leadership role for that matter. The second part of our success was knowing the area directors. This was me as a leader knowing my area directors. Now, in the development of your team, at the end of the day, the district director has the final word as to who the area directors are and elected. But as a division director, you can still get your hands in the pot. You can still get involved, and you should as much as possible. Because when you have the opportunity to find those leaders to be your area directors, you're going to have a better idea of the people that you're going to be working with and the successful team that you're going to build. It's important to give yourself that opportunity. When I was division director, the area directors that came forward and that I reached out, some came forward, some I reached out. 3, I knew rather closely. 2, I didn't. So there was an opportunity for me to get to know these people with interviews if I didn't really know what they were going to bring to the table as an area director. And every single area director that I interviewed, I even interviewed the ones that I was close with, I'll admit, I ensured that they understood what our goal was to be distinguished division and that they understood the commitment they were taking on as an area director serving these clubs. In addition to knowing your area directors and having a strong team, you want to understand what skills they bring to the table. You want to have area directors that will provide core skills from the real world experiences that will serve the clubs and the members and fulfill the responsibilities. And you want an eclectic team so that you'll have some with strengths in different areas. Maybe some are more proficient with technology, some are more proficient with motivation, and together you can support each other in filling up the roles as area directors. And knowing your area directors also means knowing their why. Why did they want to become an area director? And I'm not talking about, I became an area director because I want to serve and give back. I became an area director because I want to become a DTM and gain credit towards getting my DTM Distinguished Toastmaster Award. These are superficial reasons why they want to be an area director. Sit down with them, have a one-on-one, buy them coffee or a virtual coffee, and ask questions to find out the real reason as to why they would like to take a year out of their life with no pay to serve as an area director for 4 to 5 clubs in their area. Once you understand the why, you understand the real passion behind why they're taking the role. And it's a critical point for you to know how to touch base with that area director during the year to ensure that they're on track and that they stay motivated. You always have that why to lean back to when they're going through challenges or encouraging them along the way. Because 365 days is a long time to serve a role in Toastmasters, even though we all know it goes by in a blink of an eye. Find the why for your area director. Knowing your area directors, having your goals and your roadmaps, these are the 2 critical points in being a successful division director. But the third point I feel weighs the most because it has the most impact on your team. And I'll say it again, the team that you lead as a division director is the reason you will be successful. If you can make your team successful, you will be successful in the end. The final component of being a successful division was knowing the power of appreciation. And I'll admit that appreciation is something that at most times will come naturally to me. But it wasn't until the end of my division directorship that I realized how much more opportunities there were. I'm going to share with you the reason why appreciation is so powerful when supporting your team and helping them fulfilled their responsibilities to the best of their ability. When I started off my division directorship, I was extremely excited to be working with 5 amazing people that were also excited for their role. We were hyped up and ready to go. We all were committed to becoming distinguished division. The first thing I did to show appreciation for these people who made the commitment to be area directors was to buy every single one of them, 5 of them, a branded Toastmasters messenger bag. These are great bags that you can get on the Toastmasters website. And they're simple and yet effective way to show the appreciation for the team. And I created a binder for them to follow with our calendar of checkpoints and deadlines as well. I got them organized from the start. Now, Mike Robbins in a TEDx talk talked about a study in UC Berkeley that showed appreciation at work enhanced effectiveness and productivity by 43%. In addition, appreciation shown to another person and reciprocated releases serotonin, enhancing one's own feeling of happiness, feeling appreciated, feeling motivated. That moment of appreciation doesn't have to be big, it can be small. And I look at it like Parmesan cheese. When the waiter comes by and he's putting the cheese on your plate, you just stay and you don't say anything, and they just keep going until you say stop. I love Parmesan cheese. If you don't like Parmesan cheese that much, we probably can't be friends. But a sprinkle of appreciation throughout the entire year is an important way to motivate and uplift your team and keep them going and keep them focused. In the end, I had a list of results from my division directorship that I was proud of, skills that I built that I was able to apply to work. I also had a list of skills that I thought I could do better in. Because of my experience, I knew that I was going to do differently in these areas. So when you're taking on the division directorship role, you have an opportunity to build yourself, to look at the journey and find where you can improve. It's a never-ending growing experience. If you're looking on taking on the division directorship role, the easy part is building a team. The challenge is to be the leader that motivates your team so that they are successful, which enhances the success of your clubs, your members, and in the end, you will be a strong, proficient, and results-driven leader. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Melissa. You lived up to the billing.